Welcome to another episode of Emotional Nightmares. Still down here in Butler at Club 831. Grabbing more people out of the crowd here to talk about our journey of recovery, how we got here. So with that, we have another guest who's going to share about her journey of recovery. So this is Jess. So Jess is going to go ahead and share with us. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Jessica, and I have been an addict since, well, I guess forever, because even when I was young, I had addictive traits that in anything that I did. My addiction probably started when I was maybe 12 or 13, and the more that I think about it, it probably started, honestly, with my oldest son's father. I think he was like my first addiction, and I didn't realize that until like way later in life. But so running around, went from being like a good kid, like school was what I did, but always struggled through school. Never got, not that I didn't get along with people, and maybe, I don't know, I guess I did get bullied like pretty badly. And I would say maybe like 13, 14, I don't know, somewhere around there, I started, just doing, I think, what a lot of people did at that, well, I think a lot of people did. There was people that weren't, but I was sneaking out and not coming home, but I didn't do it, like, other people went home and stopped, and I would keep going to the excess, like, pretty immediately early on.
What do you mean?
If we were at someone's house having a house party drinking, everybody else would like chill out or go home or whatever, and I would not want to go home. I would want to keep drinking until I blacked out. Like, that was my
So you're a blackout
ending.
drinker.
Yeah, and I haven't drank in probably 20 years. My addiction took off like crazy, but not really with alcohol, but that's kind of where it started, I would say. And then, early on, like 16, I was going to raves and not coming home at night and doing acid and ecstasy and Special K and everything I could do. Anything somebody put in front of me, I did. I didn't even care. Maybe I might ask what it was, but I didn't care because I was still doing it. It didn't matter. And I ended up going home, like, tripping with somebody else's shoes on, like a dude's shoes, like size 12. And my mom was like, what the hell is wrong with you, like flipping out. And I was like, I'm tripping, like, I'm tripping, I don't even know, like. So she took me to the emergency room, which they couldn't really do anything, like, that was a long time ago, so I don't know, like, the exact of that, but I think she was trying to have me 302'd, because she did that a lot. That was like her response to anything, maybe that it was like a psychological issue or something that stemmed from like sexual abuse as a child, like 6 years old, 10 years old. So I think that that was like a lot of the reason that she took me, thinking it was psychological. It was something so much more deeper than that, but I didn't know that then. I just thought that I liked to go get high, like go do whatever, my friends were doing,
Mm-hmm.
And I went from, like I said, in school, Catholic school, and I was the one that nobody would hang out with, nobody would talk to, and I was good. I was a good kid at that point in time, a lot of anger issues and stuff, but like that didn't come out in school. I got good grades and all that. So then,
you were learning then in all reality, you were learning how to be a chameleon and how to, like, hide in plain sight, more or less.
Yeah. And, whenever I met my son's father, I thought that was like, I just thought he was the greatest thing ever. I really did. From the first moment that I met him, it was like off from there, and that was part of my life all the way up until just a couple years ago. horrible, toxic ass relationship with him. And he's a good father, but we just are not good together. And I didn't accept that for a long time. But so that like took off from there. You know, I had a house party at 17. He got stabbed in my backyard, and almost died. And whenever he came out of like he was in like a coma and all of these things or whatever it was, they had him on pain pills. My mom had just had some surgery, so she had pain pills, and that's kind of where the pills and that started around 17. And it started with him like, take her pills. Like, she can't take them. You know what I mean? She wanted me to flush them. She couldn't get out of bed. And I had them in my hand, like, tell her I flushed them, take them. You know what I mean? So, that, like, started that. I started taking pills every day. I had no idea what I was getting myself into at that point in time.
So right now your addiction is starting to progress.
Oh, my God. Out of start. And by this point, like, I have to say, I was already doing so much coke. I mean, at school, at this point, I'm in an alternative school for fighting and everything else. I got put in a group home for a while. When I went in there, I started fighting and was like, I'm not getting bullied anymore. Like, this is crazy. Like, when I could just fight someone, like, I'm done. And so
you're becoming the tough guy person.
And like so soft inside, like hurting inside, dying inside, really.
Right.
Like such a darkness. Like, that's the best way that I can describe it. Is like such a darkness and empty feeling that you start to lose sight of the light. Like, really, you do. And you're chasing anything to get to that point again. Maybe even, I don't even know if it's to feel nothing. Sometimes it might have been to feel something. Like, because everything was buried down, stuffed down so bad. I didn't know how to deal with all of the things that were going on in my head or around me or, any of that. So, yeah, so I mean, at that point, starting taking the pills all the time, no idea. Oxys were, like, huge then, like, within, maybe a year. I took, like, Vicodin and Percocet for a long time, and to the point that, my stomach was tore up. And my kid's dad was a drug dealer, so we always had everything, you know what I mean? We had cars and everything. We always had everything. So there was never an issue that, like, we couldn't get drugs. His dad was a drug dealer, so he had all the coke, and that was it, and we did coke, like, all the time, every day. And I would say by like 19 maybe, I started hanging out with a couple of other people. Like, we started getting in with some of the older people. Some of the people in a little bit of heavier drugs. By this point, we had a couple, like, big people we were driving, and we just had an unbelievable amount of, like, access to oxys constantly, or fentanyl patches, or suckers, or anything you can imagine. And I'm bartending, 7 days a week. That's all I did. Go to work, fucked up. So I don't know if I can swear, but fucked up, and then go to work, do that, and sleep whenever maybe I could sleep, and then do it again, And it was acceptable at the bar I worked at. They had everybody in there that was doing the same thing, I'd get too fucked up behind the bar, and the owner would say, go do a line. Go get your shit together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started hanging out with these other people, and she was so fucked up, man. She was so fucked up, and I was like, damn, what are you doing? Like, at this point, the Aussies are starting to dwindle down. Like, they're starting to bust the doctors,
right.
And it's starting to be a little bit harder to access, and our addiction has taken off so bad. So where he was leaving me hundreds of dollars on the table and drugs and this and that, now he's, like, keeping more for himself, not taking care of me as well. And I'm kind of, like, reliant on him at this time, like, for the drugs, basically. So I started going behind him, going and meeting some of the people, doing the things myself. Like, fuck this, I'm not going to be sick. Like, now I know I'm getting sick, so.
Right.
I'm doing whatever going behind him, going and meeting people, and I had money too. I started dancing. I mean, I had money, so I just did what I needed to do, period, and that was it. And so the other people, it was a couple that we met that we spent a lot of time with. Both of them are gone now. Both of them passed away from overdoses. But she was so fucked up, and I was like, damn, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't feel good. Like, can you find me any pills? Da 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 da. And she's like, no, but if you just do a little bit of this. I don't even know that I knew it was heroin then. Like, I really don't. I've thought about that many, many times. I shortly after found out, because the day that I did it with her and went home, for whatever reason, my son's dad considered that different than the pills and the coke and the thing. I mean, by this point, I think we were shooting coke, and I mean, it was crazy. We were a mess. And I'd already like cut off from my family for a lot. My brother, my youngest brother and sister talk about a time coming up the stairs that like I terrified them. That they were like, they don't do drugs. They've never done drugs because of me and what they seen me do. And so I go home and he was like, "You're fucked up." Like, he was pissed, punched a hole like right next to my head. Like, you did fucking dope. Like, you're on heroin. Like, what are you doing? And I like had no idea, and honestly, I don't think I cared. Like, now I'm like, damn, this is great. This is the best feeling I ever had. So like a couple days after this, which is crazy, his boy stops. He does a line, thinks it's a line of coke. It was a line of dope. His boy thought that's what he wanted. So he does a line of dope, and that was it. It was off. I mean, both of us, we were off to the races. There's a lot to my story that I don't talk about, but I think maybe I'll just talk about it. I ended up getting pregnant, and I couldn't stop doing pills. Couldn't stop getting high, So I kind of slowed. I don't even know. I don't even want to say I slowed down.
That's what I was gonna say. So like essentially, like you're in a whole whirlwind of shit, train wreck. But like at this time though, there's no life preserver. There's no like, let me go to rehab. There's none of this. It's just fuck it. Let me get some more dope.
Like my mom and them like weren't I didn't have people that were like actively involved in my life that noticed how bad things were, because we always had money, we always had jobs.
So on the outside it looked good.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even know that it looked good, but I don't think
it looked functional.
I don't think that they had any idea. Like, they are from a whole different world, so I don't think they had any idea of the drug life that we were actually in. Like, they knew I was fucked up, I'm sure, but I don't think they knew like, that it was like it was. So
right.
So, I mean, I ended up having my son, and I tested positive for coke whenever I had my son. He did not, I don't know how, but he did not test positive for coke. So CYF did not take him from me, which blows my fucking mind still to this day. Honest to God. My water broke, and I was terrified. I didn't even want to go to the hospital. It was just it was such a horrible feeling. Horrible. And, I didn't have anybody to tell. Like, the person that I had, the people that I trusted, that I did tell. Now, obviously, my mother was there when I delivered. My father came in, which never had, like, a relationship, like, close relationship with him. But they came in, he came in whenever I had my son from Ohio. And, they found out that I had drugs in my system, delivering, and that, and, my son's dad was so fucked up while I was delivering. He was like knotted out. We had just got all this liquid oxy from someone's mom that passed away, and he was a mess in bed with me like while I was in full-blown labor. It was horrible. It was just the most horrible experience ever. And so after that, CYF got involved, but they did not take him from me.
Right.
So they really tried to work with me and him, and it came to a point that I ended up leaving him and taking my son, and I ended up going through with, I moved back in with my mother. I went through with the things that they expected of me and needed me to do, and I stayed away from my son's dad. It didn't last very long. And I ended up going back with him, and things got really bad then, like so bad. And I'm trying to think of where to even go from that, because it was just so much. And there's like chunks that I don't know if I blocked out or what, but there's like chunks that like I just can't even think of to say. But regardless, things got so bad, I was all over the place, running around house to house, taking my son with me.
So you did this for a while, right?
I did this for a while. Yeah, he was
And
probably.
when was it? So with all this shit going on, this
Mhm.
whole train wreck, when does the thought hit your mind of, man, something's got to be different, I got to do something different?
I was homeless in the north side, like at this point now. I had to give my son to his dad because I was so unstable. I was moving from place to place, and he ended up getting clean. Like, he was doing good, like, throughout this, like, chunk of time. So, he ended up getting his shit together. I couldn't. Okay, so this is it. Now I remember. So, we were living together with one of my friends, you know, somebody that I met. We moved in with them and their family. And we were doing good. Both of us were doing good. She started doing coke. Me and her started running around doing coke together. As soon as I started, I couldn't stop. That was all I could think about. So I was putting him to bed, you know what I mean, waiting until my baby's dad fell asleep, and I was taking off all night and getting high, coming in before he woke up, you know, getting in bed, and he wouldn't even notice, you know. So at some point I didn't go home. You know what I mean? Like, I stayed out too long, and he didn't have a right, he couldn't get to work, and all of this. And I ended up getting kicked out. My family came and got me. I didn't stay. I couldn't get clean. I wasn't ready. I ended up homeless. I mean, it was terrible. I went to rehab somewhere. I left with someone, I'm sure. That's how I ended up back in Pittsburgh. And fucking was so bad. I was shooting crack, and it was so fucking bad. I was shooting in my neck and anywhere I could. And I was in some fucking trap house in the north side above a bar, and it was so bad, like, I couldn't function. I was like 98 pounds, and my skin was just like on fire. Like, there was no breakdown powder. You didn't have nothing like that to shoot. I was shooting crack with vinegar. Like, it was fucked up. And yeah, so I ended up going to the hospital. They had to get an ambulance to come because I couldn't even, I mean, I was so bad. It was just so terrible. So at that point, I called my kid's dad's aunt and said I needed help. I ended up going and getting on methadone.
So you knew at this time, like,
I
I
knew
knew
time,
help,
like,
I
I'm gonna
need help.
fucking die. Like, it was so bad. That was such a bad time and I was alone. Like, fucking alone. Just with the random people I met on the street, you know, like the chameleon thing.
Right.
Whoever I met, I could blend right in and go hang with them and be okay. So that's what I did. That's what I did a lot of my life, you know. I don't know. That was, so I'd go to rehab, do what I need to do, get my son back. End up meeting my other children's father. And he never did drugs. He played football. He was a drinker, but no drugs, you know. Treated me so good. Was good to me. And, you know, quit his job, which is another part of the story, but quit his job to get me to and from the clinic, to stay with me all the time, to make sure, you know, he was like right there over top of me, making sure that I didn't fuck up pretty much, you know. And at some point, like, I just stopped wanting to. The clinic was working. I was going to the clinic. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I started getting privileges, blah, 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 all that shit, you know. But I didn't fix anything inside. I didn't go to meetings. I didn't talk about my problems. I didn't think I needed a psychiatrist. I didn't think I needed nothing, you know what I mean? Like, I just was doing whatever. And I stayed clean for a decade, over a decade. Like, it worked. And maybe there
Well, I
was
mean, essentially, right? Like it worked, but what worked in it, right? So as we know,
Yeah.
right? Like addiction has nothing to do with the drugs and alcohol. It has everything to do with us. So it's easy for us, and we've talked about this on many episodes. It's so easy to say. It's so easy for us to just say, "Okay, I'm done," and by sheer willpower alone, we can not do it, right? But then the problem lies in is once life now shows up, now we don't know what to do, and obviously we end up picking up, right? So clearly that's what happened, right? Is you were able to do this for about 10 years, but with no defenses, right? No defenses to yourself. Once life started showing up, now you're back at it.
Right. Absolutely. Right? And that's exactly what happened. I built, I put my addiction in other ways. I shopped. I fucking ordered shit online. I had, it was excessive. Like, I'm talking excessive. And then here comes my oldest son's dad again. He started having problems with his wife, and there were I had 2 other kids in this process also. So I had 2 other children, and we did good for like a while. I was miserable inside. I was not happy. I was so unhappy. And here comes my son's, my older son's dad. He's having problems. So now he's running, here he comes to me, and I want you, and I always am, we're soulmates, and blah, 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 all the fuck shit he would fill my head with. And I had just had my daughter. She was like a year old, and I had postpartum. I had a lot of issues through that. I didn't use outside drugs. I stayed on my methadone. I did what I was supposed to do through both pregnancies. Qualified for some program because I did so well, where they kept her with me, didn't put her on meds. Like, I was one of the first people they did that with at McGee. And my head was so fucked up. I was in such, I didn't want to have, I shouldn't even say that. My head was fucked up. I was in a bad place. You want to. Yeah, I was in a bad place. And I was already miserable at that point. Like, I already didn't want the life that I had. And so I mean,
that boils it down right there, right? It's like, in that 10-year frame, like, you started building a life, but it just, you were miserable. You didn't want it.
No. So here he comes, and he's like, now he's got business. He's selling drugs again. He's got all this shit, and he's like, why are you staying with this dude that can't hold a fucking job, and you're working, and you're miserable, and you love me? And I did. I always chose him. I always went to him. It always destroyed the other relationships I was in. I never was faithful to anybody. I was always with him, period. Everybody knew that. They put his name, my name came right after. She's coming right behind. If he had a problem, I was right there next, So him and I end up choosing him. We start getting fucked up. Immediately. We start getting fucked up. Like, we were clean, doing good for like a little while. He's like, I go to the doctor, with your postpartum. He'll give you benzos and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, great idea. Let's fucking call him, right now. It's a great idea. So that was it. That took off, and I started smoking crack again, taking my kids with me to buy crack, getting them to school, doing all that, but I'm smoking crack like a crazy person, not sleeping, smoking crack constantly. And end up coming down to my family coming, and my other, younger 2 kids' dad is like flipped out. We got in this huge fight. I was smoking crack in the bathroom. We got in this huge fight. It was like New Year's Eve or something. The police got called. It was a whole shit show. And when he left, he was gone, and I brought my other son's dad back into the house immediately. Like, okay, he's going to take care of me. He's going to fix everything, And so that was a mess. We started shooting coke again. Doing dope. Well, we weren't doing dope, but we're shooting coke again, eating
basically,
mushrooms.
you just picked up right where you left off.
We were out of our fucking... I've never been so out of my fucking mind. I was out of my fucking mind. I had no idea. Like, we pulled a gun on my brother. It was insane. Fucking insane. And, so the house anyways, the wife, the ex-wife, well, not ex, but they're still married. So the wife calls, reports, says that there's drugs, guns, blah, 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 blah in the house. The house gets raided. The hotel gets raided we're staying at. And we got like huge, like he's still in jail right now. We had huge charges, big charges, lots of guns, all that shit. So they charged me with everything they charged him with. And I'm fucked up. At this point, my kids aren't with me. They're with their dad, and my family is helping him to do whatever. And I have no part of speaking with them, seeing them, anything. And that's pretty close to where I am right now. In and out of jail. That's what I did. Completely running, lost everything that I built up over all those years, like the car, everything. All the material shit.
So let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
With all this bullshit, right? What's different, man? What's different now than any of the other times? And what's going to prevent you? Well, I'll ask that question next. But right now, at this moment, what's different now than any other time?
I never looked into myself.
Okay.
So, I don't know what I even thought. I always just thought if I could just stop doing drugs, I guess maybe is what I thought. I started really fighting and wanting to go to programs, and I had it's crazy. I met somebody, and he was my best friend, and we were together all the time, and I'm still with my ex at this time. I ended up being best friends with him, and then being intimate and having a relationship with him and choosing him over my kid's dad. And in and out of jail, that whatever, and looking at him honestly kind of, and his mom, and just the things that we were doing, my family, something just made me want to try again. And when I did, every time that I would go to rehab, something new would stick. I would work on something more within myself, and I would get further away from wanting to escape.
Right.
I found light again. I don't know another way to explain
Found hope.
I found hope, yeah.
So, ex-husband's in jail.
Mhm.
What happens when he comes home? What's
He's
going to
been
prevent?
home.
What's going to prevent you from going back there?
He's been home several times in and out, and
because that's
he
your
still
pattern.
tries to call and
yeah,
do all
it's your
of that.
pattern.
Yeah, he still tries to call and do all of that. But that was shut down. That was something that one of the, I realized at some point, and this is one of the hardest things I think that I did realize, I realized that I became everything that I hated in everybody else. And that was hard for me to realize.
Yeah.
And that was before I came to before I came to where I am now. And I'd already made some other changes within myself, but I think that was the last piece that one of the last pieces. There's still more I need to work on, but it was a huge part of something that I needed to realize so that I could really start to change. To take a look at myself, you're so angry or this or that, but you are that. That is what you are. You hurt people, and you know what I mean? You're selfish as fuck, and all of these things that I don't know, realizing that just
So in a sense, you realize I don't like the person I am.
No.
Right?
And I don't even know, yeah, I don't even so now I realize I'm not running to something. I'm not running to drugs. I'm not running from this person. I'm running from my fucking self. So until I fix whatever's making me run from myself, I have no chance. So I had to make changes. In my mind, I had to. I miss my children. I want to see. I'm a good mother. I'm a good mom. I love to get high, and I had things that I didn't work on, that I buried down, that needed to come up. And if I didn't work on them, they will continue to keep coming up at some point down the road.
Yeah.
So doing what I'm doing now, working on these things. That's the only way I know. This is the only time I've ever felt like whole, like not, like there's an emptiness inside. I don't feel that. And I don't mean that, like, I feel I miss my kids and I miss my family, you know, but I'm talking about something different. It's not, it's something different than that.
It's that feeling inside the stomach that's like, you know, so, you know, the question I've been asking everybody is, like, did you finally learn to love yourself?
Yeah, I think, and I started finding, like, the things that I love to do again. Like, I lost myself for so long. Absolutely, yeah. And, yeah, I feel like I have like a purpose again, you know. I lost that feeling, you know, and being away from my kids and all of that, I felt like, you know, they were better off without me and nobody needed me. But they do need me. That is not the truth. That's a lie that, you know, I repeat to myself in my head that keeps me fucking stuck.
Yeah.
That I don't want to be stuck anymore, you know. So people around listening to other people, seeing other people and seeing their stories gives me hope that if they can do it, I can do it too. You know?
I mean, there's somebody listening to your story right now, right? What would you say to them?
Just keep going, no matter what. It doesn't even matter if you fail over and over. It's so corny and cheesy, but I had a counselor play this video, Michael Jordan. How many times did he fail?
Yeah.
Like, it made him train harder. It made him keep going, keep pushing. If he gave up, he wouldn't be what he is. And it's the same thing. It's no different for us. Like,
it's a Nike commercial.
Fuck yeah. Like,
he does a whole Nike commercial where he's talking about that's one of my favorite commercials, actually. Like, I show that to my clients sometimes because he got cut from the team. He did like all this shit. Like, you know what I mean? And he's like, they talk about this and all the shots I made, but let's talk about I missed 3 game-winning shots, or I missed this and I missed that, and, like, you know.
It made him practice harder.
Yeah, like. So
somebody said, don't make a promise. You know, I'm never gonna do this again. What you promise is, I'm gonna keep fucking trying until I get it, and that's the best thing I could say. Just keep pushing through. You'll get a little bit closer every time. Some people take longer. That's okay. Like, just keep fucking going. That's it.
I mean, ultimately, you have to realize, like, I want to do different. So in order to do different, I have to not only change me, I got to change the people around me, the things around me. I got to fucking do something different. Yeah. Right? So,
that's right.
So you did good.
Thank you.
You were nervous to come on, right?
I was. I never did this before.
That's good. Well, I appreciate you for coming on the episode. I appreciate you for getting up here and sharing. I hope I hit the record button. I can't remember if I did or not. So, I've been sitting here thinking about it the whole time. I really hope we're recording. If not, then I guess we'll do it again. But no, man, it was real good, though. I greatly appreciate you for coming on. As always, man, you guys could have been anywhere in the world. You decided to sit here and choose to be here with us. I hope that you heard what you need to hear. You know, the message of hope. If you didn't hear what you need to hear to stay sober, that's fine too. There's other episodes on this channel. If it's not our channel, watch somebody else. We don't care. Just find recovery. We don't care how you get it, just get it. You know, there is hope out there. So, not for nothing, man. Pick up the phone, call somebody who actually cares about you, not the dope man, because they don't care about you, they care about your money. Just make it through today. If you can make today sober, then tomorrow looks better. We appreciate you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, send to all your friends. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.